Okay, friends, we are making what I believe is the best rice pudding recipe that ever was. And yes, I love raisins, and so does my husband, but if you don't like raisins, if you're a raisin hater, you can leave them out. And so right now you just start off by putting 5 cups of whole milk into a pot. Then you put in 1/3 of a cup of white sugar, and then you add in 1/2 teaspoon of coarse salt. And you mix that up, and then you bring it to a boil over medium-high heat. And as you can see, it's starting to steam. It's getting close. And you don't want to leave this, because once it starts to come to a boil, if you know anything about milk, it will very quickly bubble up, and you don't want to burn the bottom of the pot or burn your milk or make a big mess. So you do have to stay kind of close to it while you're cooking it. It's going to be worth it, guys. It's going to be worth it. Okay, so now my milk mixture is just coming to a nice boil. So as you can see it, just starting to boil. So now I'm going to turn it down to medium, to low medium, and I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of uncooked rice. And I'm using jasmine. Now I'm going to stir it. And I'm going to set my timer, and I'm going to cook this now for 22 minutes, stirring about every 1 to 2 minutes. Just got to keep an eye on it and keep it on pretty low heat now, and it'll cook at a simmer. I got this recipe from BellyFull, and if you're not following her already, go and check her out. I've used so many of her recipes, and honestly, I've not yet found one that I don't love, especially her rice pudding recipe. Okay, well, I've been doing dishes in between, so I'm not too far from my pot. And as you can see, I've been splashing water all over the place. Story of my life. But we've got 6.5 minutes left. We're almost there, and it's cooking nicely and slowly starting to thicken up. Okay, so now the rice and milk mixture has cooked for 22 minutes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take an egg, and we're going to add 1/2 cup of the hot milk mixture into the egg, and we're going to whisk it. And what this is going to do is, when you dump an egg right into your recipe, it'll cook the egg. This way it kind of slowly tempers it before you put it back in. So you're just going to whisk that together, and then we're going to dump that back into the milk mixture. And then we're going to take 1/3 cup of raisins. The recipe calls for 1/3 cup of raisins. Yeah, that's not enough for us. So I'm going to put in 1/3 cup of raisins, and I'm going to put in another 1/3. So you do you, and you just measure with your heart. And if you love raisins, you put lots in. Or you can leave the raisins out if you don't like raisins. That's perfectly fine. And then 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and I put a heaping one because also I love cinnamon. So heaping 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. That might have been more closer to a teaspoon. And then give that a stir. Let that cook for another 5 minutes so that the raisins will plump up. I even added more raisins. I honestly feel like we should call it raisin pudding. Okay, now it's cooked, and we take it off of the heat, take it off of the burner, and we're going to add 1 tablespoon of butter. Don't worry, it's just me and Danny eating it. It's okay if I use my fingers. And now we add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla and stir that in. And it is going to thicken as it cools. And so if you like it a little looser, you can always add a little bit of cream to it. All right, guys. I'm not even kidding you. Look at all those raisins. This, 10 out of 10.